Hello and welcome to Boring Dad Gaming, where today I'm going to be playing a new game on the channel. This is Nightmare Frames. Now, a few months ago I played a point-and-click adventure, a new one, but with, retro pixel art called An English Haunting, which I very much enjoyed, and, people who watch the channel also seem to have a good time with. This is actually it's not a prequel, but this is the game that those developers made before An English Haunting. So I don't know if it's their first game, I haven't looked that deeply into it, but this is the one that kind of preceded that. So I picked it up in a recent sale on Steam, thought it might be worth a look. It's very positive rating on Steam. So let's dive in and take a look for ourselves. The guys don't know that the lunatic is back. I have to warn them before it's too late. Ooh, hello. So, is that, I want to say Moonstone Camp? It's just a little bit too pixelated for me to read that properly. Like, it looks like it could be Moonstoke or Moonstore, but I think it's Moonstone. That makes the most sense. Okay, we can look at the barn, I think. They're not there, I just checked. I hope I find them alive. Okay, let's walk this way. No! Dana! Oh, sorry, Dana! Hank! Oh, God! Will! What have they done to you? I'm too late. Where's Tommy? Tommy! So, I don't know exactly the plot of the game, but I did read the blurb on the Steam store page. It was something to do with finding the ultimate horror video or something, and I was just thinking this reminds me a bit of Friday the 13th. With the camp, and these could easily be camp counselors or something. So I think that's what this might be, like an in-game video. I'm not entirely sure. Tommy!
Stacy, run! Run away!
Let him go, you monster!
Get out of here! He'll come for you! I can't take it anymore!
Oh, God. So it's going to be quite graphic then. Shit. You've been suspecting it for a while. The climax of Lunatic 2 is identical to the one you wrote for the original movie. You go over the whole script in your mind and end up realizing it has the same structure as its predecessor. You can't show this to Christopher Ruskin. Melodies of Heaven. No wonder you've had such little interest in the script for Lunatic 2. All your thoughts are focused on the ambitious project that will take you back to the times of Melodies of Heaven, the script that earned you an Oscar nomination in 1980. Famous producer Peter Evans is butting heads with the studio execs to get the project greenlit. According to him, the deal is almost done, which means you're just one step away from leaving the B-movies pitch you're in. He was meeting with the executives this morning. You have an appointment later today at his place, hopefully to celebrate. It's getting late, I should get moving. Hollywood, 1985. Right-click is look. Left-click interact. Good to know. Okay, let's look at some stuff. So we got some posters here. Staring at the poster for Melodies of Heaven, you've got the feeling that there's another reality in which some other Alan Goldberg, an Oscar winner, enjoys a successful career within the big studio system. Okay, so yeah, we can look at it like that. Look at this one. Campfire Psycho. What does he say about this one? I want my Friday the 13th, Alan, Christopher Ruskin told you. And that's what you did, apathetically penning a flagrant copy of Sean S. Cunningham's classic. However, the movie was Ruskin Productions' biggest success to date, and today it's considered a cult classic.
Does anybody even know how Hollywood works? Because I definitely don't.
It's time to vote. President's Day Killer. The killer in President's Day Killer was a dangerous far-right madman who used a Jimmy Carter mask to stage a massacre at a Young Democrats convention. Since then, you have a reputation for being a reactionary, which confirms what you already knew. Horror fans are idiots. Don't Go in the Forest 3D. 2 years ago, 3D horror movies made their comeback to Hollywood, with titles such as Friday the 13th 3D, Amityville 3D, or Jaws 3D. Of course, Ruskin Productions wanted its share of the pie. They commissioned a new slasher full of gory scenes where the entrails of the victims would jump at the viewer. However, the budget was so small, for a change, that most of the scenes requiring more complex VFX than than usual were discarded. The director made up for it by moving the camera closer to the actress's breasts. Ruskin didn't object. Neither did the viewers. Lunatic. You try not to focus too much on the promotional poster for Lunatic. You fear your future will consist only of writing its sequels far into the 90s. You'll wind it up some other time. You haven't wound it up since you started writing the script for Lunatic 2. You usually guess the time by the light that comes in through the window. If you continue like this, you'll end up rubbing two sticks together to light the stove. You glance towards the shelf and realise that a statuette awarded to the Campfire Psycho at some festival you can't remember is missing. The breeze coming through the window reminds you that you used it as a doorstop for the hallway. Even if you don't consider your work in horror movies as worthy of any praise, other people do. You were awarded Best Script by the Fantasporto jury for President's Day Killer. Lunatic caused a sensation in the Sitges Film Festival, and you won Best Screenwriter. That same year, you also collected awards in Avorias thanks to Lunatic. You didn't pick up a single one of them in person. You hate the crowds at those B-tier festivals. But there's something you hate even more, being surrounded by fans of horror movies. I mean, there's quite a lot in here to look at, and I was going to examine it and just get all the flavor text. I hope that's okay. I mean, we kind of want a sense of, this guy, his world, who he is, etc. I think. You've lost track of how long ago you unplugged the TV and don't plan to plug it back in ever again. There's nothing of interest in that box. You usually read the news in the papers, and TV series are nothing more than watered-down movies. There's no channel that interests you enough to make you plug in the TV again. That's where you put your wallet. You take the wallet in the hopes of not misplacing it and forgetting about it again. It's a good thing you always carry a few bills in your jacket so you can pay for cabs. Okay. So, yes, so at the top of the screen, if we go up to the top with a cursor, we can see our inventory. What does he say about the books? A pile of books about the art of writing scripts. Your favourite one is Adventures in the Screen Trade by William Goldman. That's probably a real book. William Goldman is a real screenwriter. He wrote The Princess Bride, one of my favourite movies. You don't usually check the end result of your scripts. Once you've delivered the last revision, you disengage yourself completely from the project and don't give a damn about anything producers or directors do with it. Even so, you show them off as a trophy, and you wonder why. You don't have an answer. VHS editions of all the movies you've written sit on that shelf. Pam makes sure to send you a copy 2 days before each domestic format release. 6 years have passed since you arrived at the Mecca of cinema. The first year was just as you'd imagined. Dinners in luxury restaurants, non-stop handshakes with stars, and a walk down the Oscars, red carpet to top it all off. But good things don't last forever. You spent 5 years in what you call Hollywood hell. You wholeheartedly wish everything would go back to the way it used to be, and you still hope it will. But the wait is starting to feel like an eternity. You've marked the due date for the script of Lunatic 2 with a big red circle. You look at the tray where the script of the last sequel to Ruskin Productions' most recent success lies and wonder what happened. Your mind might have been somewhere else, or you may be agreeing with those who argue that the slasher genre has dried up. It's a complete disaster that you need to fix, though the best thing would be to start anew. Ugh. People always say that those masked psycho movies write themselves, and it's something you've always agreed with, but failing to write the sequel to Lunatic is making you change your mind. The best thing you can do now is go outside and forget about writing for today. Your loyal Olivetti Latera 32, same model Francis Ford Coppola used to write, for example, the magnificent scene of Sollozzo's death at the hands of Michael Corleone and The Godfather. It's a very versatile machine. It can also be used to give teenagers dumb lines and make skimpily dressed girls head straight towards danger instead of running in the opposite direction. What's that mug? It's your favourite big blue mug. It has always been at your side when writing. I can't remember how many times you filled it with coffee today. I've got a trash can, the cemetery of the bad ideas you come up with when you're not focused, which happens a lot lately. Maybe you have thrown away the occasional brilliant page without realising it, but that's probably not the case. You always wanted to have an apartment with a view of the Hollywood sign in which to write your scripts. If it wasn't for the fact that you have to stick half your body out the window just to be able to see the letter D, you could say you've achieved your dream. You look out the window. Movies taught you to love the streets of Los Angeles. Reality, to hate them. Christopher Ruskin insisted that you had to get with the times, so he bought you a brand new IBM PC 5150 with a text processor. However, you still prefer to write your scripts the traditional way. You can't imagine working without the relaxing sound of the keys banging against the typewriter roller. You can't remember the last time you even turned it on. It was to try out the latest sensation in computer narrative, a mind forever voyaging. That's a real... I think it was just a text adventure rather than a point and click. I've never played it, but I can imagine the box art in my mind. The texts were good, but you got the feeling that the author was wasting his talent writing for computer games. Self-burn. What's this? The production company promised you a bonus if you wrote Don't Go in the Forest 3D. What you didn't expect was for the bonus to be a box full of the 3D glasses used to watch the movie in theatres. Are we going to take one? Yeah. Probably they'll be of use. What have we got? We've got some stuff here. Magazine. Unlike the people at Variety, somebody at Fangoria magazine thinks you should have a subscription. That's why it arrives in your mailbox each month without fail. Already looked at that issue. George A. Romero tries to milk the success of Night of the Living Dead for a third time. A theatrical director from Chicago makes his movie debut with an adaptation of an H.P. Lovecraft short story for Charles Band's Empire. Lastly, an interview with Jenna Dreyfus, the Scream Queen from Campfire Psycho, in which, among other things, she talks trash about you. Ever since you spoke out publicly against the character of Eliza from Eliza's Mansion of Horrors, you've been flooded with anonymous letters from her fans wishing you the most horrible of deaths. You think about showing a couple of them to police. The police, in particular the one that threatens to shoot you with a sniper rifle, and the one whose author thinks the best way of ending your life is planting a bomb in this very apartment. But you know they're probably written by some harmless, zit-ridden teenager too busy jerking off compulsively to an Eliza poster. That's the same thing. Okay, I think we may have done everything here. So let's leave. Welcome to LA United Taxi. Where do you want to go? When you get in a taxi, the drivers will talk to you. You can disable this feature in the options menu. Okay. Fair enough. Well, that's where we're coming from. Sounds like we should probably go to Ruskin Productions. Who's this guy?
Come on, fellas, splash the cash. You could be helping this poor man right here with all that dough, you scrimp, by hiring illegal aliens to take care of your lawns.
Oh, lovely. Dave Morrison. Lawyers. Let's root through the trash can, though. Trash can is filled to the brim. Jack has probably taken it... Oh, that's going to be Jack, isn't it? Probably taken anything that could be useful from there already. Dave Morrison? The marketing officer for Phantasm Cycles reads with bewilderment that Route 66 is not a part of the US numbered highway system anymore. Part of his new campaign is based on the relevance of that historical route. He won't be in the mood for chit-chat right now. Random passers-by... Lawyers? The one on the right is Frank Rooker from Barclay, Rooker and Jones, whose offices are on the 8th floor. The one on the left is one of their youngest and most promising lawyers, Jack Jordan. Or Stephen Hartnett, you don't know who. All those young lawyers with their slicked back hair look the same to you. Jack? Jack Palmer was a child star in the 30s. He was the lead in Gang of Seven. Such a rip-off of our gang that its biggest accomplishment was to not be sued for plagiarism. When his voice dropped and acne made its appearance, he disappeared until the 50s, and he made a comeback as the director of a couple of movies about giant radioactive insects, which devoured everything that crossed their paths, probably based on them. Humans, military machinery, and even the production company itself, which went bankrupt. He returned to Hollywood in the 80s in his latest incarnation, a homeless drunkard.
Well, well, you here to insult me again?
What? Again with that? Is this your way of saying hello or what?
You told me your career was going downhill so hard that you'd rather jump off the 6th Street Viaduct than end up like me.
Come on, Jack, don't be resentful.
Even if it did happen 12 days and 46 minutes ago, I don't like to be called resentful.
All right, for the umpteenth time, I'm sorry. I've got the habit of saying what I think.
That's not a virtue. The trick is to think about what you say. You know what, Alan? You're a strange guy. You don't like people, you freak them out, and yet somehow nobody sends you packing. Anyway, how's it going?
Awful.
Glad to see you haven't lost that optimism you're known for.
How's the day going?
Nothing yet, but I've just gotten started.
I've always wondered why you beg in a place like this.
I don't like to hustle from common people. It's hard enough for them just to earn a living. But here, look at all those yuppies. Check out their hands. Look, they're perfect. Most of them waste so much money on manicures. They do fuck all. They make all their money through speculation. If I've got to fleece someone, I'd rather it be them.
These people are not the kind to give handouts, Jack. They don't even see you.
That's what you think? Check this out. You all cheer for USA, for Africa, and all those stars going we are the world, but fuck those of us standing right here. Hypocrites.
There, mister. Try not to waste it on booze.
I waste it on cocaine like you do, but I don't think I'd be able to afford it. Have a good day. $5. That's my day made. See?
They showed one of your movies yesterday.
Oh, which one? The one with the fucking spiders or the one with the fucking ants?
Spiders.
And how did you know if you don't watch TV?
I read it in the papers.
Those movies are in the spotlight again with this whole 50s revival that's going on. And I still don't see a single cent from them. Not that I should, anyway. The production company went bankrupt, and who knows who's got the rights now. Some asshole must be making crazy money off my work while I'm here panhandling. And not long ago, a couple of journos came for an interview with one of those magazines for wankers. Oh, what was it called? Starlog? I felt like a director again, telling them all about how those movies were made. Ah, those were good times, Alan.
Ah, well, I got things to do, Jack.
Behave, Alan.
What does that sign say? You stand next to the taxi stop. Oh no, I don't. No. Stay there. I didn't realise that would take me to the travel screen. I guess we go through the doors, huh? Alan, I never thought I'd say this, but I'm glad to see you.
Again, James?
We've got a little debate here. You're the erudite here. Give me a hand. Pam is saying that the Church of Mother Earth is a cult.
It is.
Oh, come on, not you too. You should stop by one day, Alan. As a guest, of course. We have exercises to improve one's mood and see life from a different perspective.
I'd rather throw myself out that window.
You're wasting your time, friend. How about you, Pam? Are you in? I don't get paid enough to put up with this. James Crosby. Let's look at him. 1982 was James Crosby's year. He was the lead in President's Day Killer and became a member of the Church of Mother Earth. From then on, parts in big studio productions started raining on him. He doesn't seem aware that his success is due to the power the church holds in Hollywood, not because he starred in a modestly successful B-movie. Sometimes he drops by the company to convince Pam or whoever is around to join his cult. The droplets coating the container with condensation make you fancy some fresh water. Let's have some. You don't see any cups around, so you ready yourself to drink directly from the tap when you realise you don't want to be taken for an eccentric. You turn around to ask Pam to refill the cups, but you see she's busy, so you change your mind. The first movie produced by Ruskin was House by the Graveyard in 1981. It was a Z movie indebted to Italian horror cinema, with an aesthetic closer to the 70s than to the decade it was shot in. For some reason you can't seem to grasp, Ruskin is proud of the first movies he produced, and that's why he placed the posters in the entrance hall of the production company. Christopher boasts about the originality of the movie, but to you it's nothing more than a Rear Window ripoff. The Neighbour was a boring movie about a girl who thought her neighbour was a vampire. Lately, Ruskin has been thinking of suing Tom Holland and Columbia Pictures over the suspicious similarities between his film and more recent Fright Night. Which is an interesting film, I have seen that. Incidentally starring, one of the guys from The Princess Bride. I've forgotten the name of the actor, though. We could talk to Pam. How's the script going?
Fine. I need to touch up a couple of things.
Problems with the third act, right?
How did you know?
I've been working with you for a long time, honey. When everything's going well, you barely say a word. When you try to explain yourself, it means something is wrong. The treatment already showed that you weren't too sure about the third act. But don't worry. We begin shooting next month, there's still time. Pam has modernized the company by computerizing it. Technical equipment, providers, agencies, everything's in that computer. She even talks to them as through a sophisticated phone system plugged into the computer, which seems more like witchcraft than technology. Pam's using it, and given your aversion to computers, what did you intend to do? Let's look at this one. Christopher Ruskin was so impressed with the concept of shockwaves that he wanted his own Nazi zombies movie. Scharführer had little success, and the blame fell on Ruskin Productions' then official screenwriter. After the disastrous premiere, you were hired to replace him. Is this the one with John Carradine, or is that Shockwaves? You never remember. Shockwaves. How does she maybe he said that out loud. Oh yeah, let's talk to this guy then.
Pam brought me up to speed. Lunatic 2, huh? Wow, you must be happy. Oh yeah, can't stop jumping for joy. Come on, Alan, everyone's talking about the movie. It's a success so far. I even heard rumors over at Warner. Rumors? They want David Draven, the director, to shoot the next Stallone movie. Though Sly wants to keep George P. Cosmatos. Anyway, Lunatic's the talk of the room, talk of the town. Did you hear anything about the screenwriter? No. Sorry. What are you working on now? I've taken a couple months off, haven't stopped shooting lately. Though Martin's been calling. Who's Martin? Scorsese. He wants me in his next movie. Paul will be there too. Paul? What Paul? McCartney? Newman. I haven't made up my mind yet. I've also been talking to Brian. Brian May? De Palma. Hey Alan, are you pulling my leg? I don't know what to do. I might consult with Steven. Spielberg. Good. So what do you do in that cult exactly? Again with that? We're not a cult, we're a legally constituted church. Okay, call it whatever you want. But what do you do there? We're not allowed to talk about it. Come by one day and see for yourself. See? Sounds like a cult. How's that a way of advertising yourselves? Just imagine I drop by one day and end up with melted wax on my chest and 4 octogenarians ready to abuse me. Hilarious. For your information, that would never happen. The teachings of the Church of Mother Earth are based on kindness and common good. Do you really think the Earth is a living being? Of course. What seems odd to me is for people as clever as you not to believe it. Mother Earth's always been sending signals, but we never paid attention until she chose Joseph as her intermediary. She speaks through him. Yes. Tells him what to do. Exactly. Let's drop the subject. I'm feeling insulted. Why? You're treating me like a 4-year-old. See ya. Alright, think about it. What should I think about? Well, Pam, as we were saying... We were not saying anything. Okay, I guess we're going to see, Mr. Ruskin, huh? Christopher's not in his office right now, but you're welcome there any time, so go ahead. Oh, okay. So what we got here? We got some more posters. Don't Go in the Forest 3D and Campfire Psycho. Surprisingly for you, they were both a success. Okay, what else have we got? We've got Cabinet. The dozens of scripts the company receives each year are kept there, among other things. How much worse than yours must they be for Christopher not to have considered them? Revising your own scripts is already hard enough. You're not going to read other people's. Okay, what else have we got? Got drinks. Do we have a drink? You don't feel like a drink right now. It's not unusual to find Christopher talking on the phone with his feet on the desk and sitting as if he'd been thrown there from 30 feet up. There's a bottle of cologne on the desk. Can we take that? You take the bottle and hope Christopher won't miss it. Yeah. You don't need to look at the current market trends and audience preferences of horror movie fans. It's clear to you. Blood and tits. What's going on with the plant? Jenna Dreyfus, the actress from Campfire Psycho, gifted him a bamboo plant with the intention of improving the office's feng shui. You're no expert in this kind of pseudoscience, the Hollywood population so happily embraces, but you don't see any relationship between one and the other except that both come from China. You've surprised Ruskin talking to the plant once or twice. He argued that he was stimulating its growth. It was a good moment to start a scientific debate, but you were not in the mood for wasting your time with someone who subscribes to quantum therapies and believes in reincarnation. You try to rip one of the plant's leaves off, but they're firmly attached to the stem. Does that suggest that I should
try to do that with something. I don't have anything sharp to cut it with. We could look at the sights. Downtown LA looks spectacular in the late evening light. Though low, the powerful California sun blinds you when you try looking through the window. Posters? You're fed up with these posters. They're the same ones hanging at your place. I know. I mean, I guess we probably move on if he's not here. I thought that's where we were supposed to go. Maybe we're supposed to go to the other guy's place? Anyway, we picked up something for our inventory, so not a wasted trip. I guess we grab a taxi? Hi, we meet again. Where are we off to now? I guess we'll go to Peter Evans's place? Maybe? I forget who that is. Oh.
Thanks for your cooperation, officer. Good evening. Oh, Goldberg, what a tragedy.
What happened? Where's Evans?
I'm afraid I've got bad news. Evans committed suicide.
What?
We're in shock too. We can't seem to make sense of it.
But...
I'm guessing this might be Ruskin?
Why would he commit suicide? He had everything a man could aspire to.
Oh, we don't know what goes through other people's minds, Goldberg. Truth is, he seemed more short-sight-tempered than usual lately, but who isn't in this city?
What are you doing here?
Evans had some essential documents we needed in order to close the sale of the studio to the Japanese. The LA Chief of Police allowed me to go in and get them. Very kind of him.
Hold on, you're selling the studio?
Well, yes, that's the plan. They're in charge from now on. Lucky me, they want to keep the current corporate board.
I had an appointment to talk about the project.
Ah, yes, well, let us talk about it, okay? As you know, Evans was the only one protecting our project from the rest of the executives. Now that he's gone, I'm afraid we won't be following through with the movie. Anyway, I don't think it would have been made even with Evans, now that the studio will be in the hands of the Japanese. They're more Godzilla than Kurosawa, if you know what I mean. The trend is action heroes like Stallone or Schwarzenegger, or otherwise movies like the ones Amblin is making. I'm afraid there won't be any room for high-budget dramas such as the ones you're proposing. We are grateful for Peter Evans's work. The studio pulled through its worst times thanks to him. But it's 1985, Goldberg. Teens rule the box office now. I hope you understand. Anyway, since you're here, I've got something to show you. I found this in the desk next to the office phone.
Barry Landau. Oh, Barry Landau. Okay, so it's not Ruskin. Pulls out a letter with a letterhead that reads Flying Saucer Pictures. It seems to be a small, low-budget studio focused on fantasy or horror movies. You can't grasp why Evans committed suicide, but even less why that was in his office. Peter Evans despised this kind of small producer, the kind of small producers that capitalized on making exploitation movies instead of making art. It took a lot for you to stand up for yourself, given that you were responsible for several masked killer movies.
Curious, isn't it? Evans dealing with this kind of scum. You know what? You can keep it. Your talents are more in line with this trash than with our studio.
I've proven I can be more than a slasher screenwriter. Let me remind you I was an Oscar nominee.
Yeah, so was Cher last year. Take it. My hand's getting tired. I wish you success in your career, Goldberg. You'll need it. Hollywood is changing. It's not the 70s anymore. Goodbye.
If there was ever a chance to touch heaven in Hollywood again, it's gone. You're surprised to realize, though, that spending the rest of your career stuck in the B-movies business is the last thing you're worried about right now. Peter Evans was an important figure to you, not only because he believed in your project and tried to move heaven and earth to get it made. Peter Evans was the man you wanted to become. Wealthy, well-connected, and able to bring top-tier movie projects to life. Now he's dead. By his own hand. How's it possible for someone who had everything they wanted in life to end up like this? You look at the letter Barry Landau just gave you. Dear Mr. Evans, I do know what you are talking about indeed. I thus beg you to handle this in person. You will surely understand that this matter should be dealt with discreetly. Kind regards, Glenn Bishop. You marvel at Peter Evans' luxurious mansion and still can't come to terms with the fact of his suicide. You can't understand what one of the most powerful executives in Hollywood could need from one of the most insignificant production companies in Los Angeles. Without the project that could have put you back in the spotlight, with a script for a sequel that's going nowhere and no desire to make anything else, you decide to delve into why someone like Evans did what he did. New location. Okay, cool. What's this say? Stripping off plaques from celebrity mansions is something only a brain-dead tourist would do. Well, I didn't suggest that. Ankh-Senemon. That's kind of like the name of the pharaoh's wife in The Mummy, Ankh-Senemun. I don't know what relevance it has here. Oh, here we go. Even though he disparaged horror movies, Evans named his mansions after 1932's The Mummy, a tribute to the first movie he watched in the theatre, and the one which made him fall in love with the seventh art. Officer Jackson has spent 25 years in the Los Angeles Police Department with a flawless service record. Happily married, his dream was to have a kid and get promoted to police inspector. The former was biologically impossible, and he enjoys patrolling the streets so much that he ended up letting go of the letter. Okay. We'll talk to him, I guess.
Officer?
Sir?
What happened in there?
Nothing good. That guy, the movie guy, blew his brains out. You need to have a pair for that, don't you think?
Do you know if he left a suicide note?
You watch a lot of movies, don't you?
Well, actually, I write them.
More than 90% of the people who commit suicide don't leave any notes. It's a myth.
Still, did he leave one?
Why are you asking all these questions? Are you a journalist?
No, I'm a screenwriter, I already told you.
Have you written something I may have watched?
Does Melodies of Heaven ring any bell?
Are you kidding? You wrote that movie? What a snoozer. Mary, my wife, made me go watch it with her. I fell asleep. And that's my review.
It's okay.
She liked it, though. I shouldn't be talking about this with you, you know. It's strictly police business. But to hell with that if I can tell Mary I've been talking to the writer of Melodies of Heaven. We're having some communication issues lately. This way we'll have something to talk about. As for the note, no, he didn't leave one. Anything else you want to know?
Was it really a suicide?
Mm-hmm. You mean whether someone murdered him and made it pass for suicide, right? I can see your screenwriter's mind at work. I'm afraid to disappoint you. Everything seems to suggest suicide. No doors or windows forced. According to my colleagues, the position in which he was holding the rifle looked natural. Unusual for someone to kill themselves with a rifle. It's a long weapon. I think it's quite hard to pull the trigger if you're holding it to your head.
Can I go in?
Of course not.
So why did you allow Barry Landau inside?
Your friend, the one who just left?
He's not my friend.
Yeah, I saw how glad he was to get rid of you. Orders from above. He seems to have a good relationship with the boss.
Is that legal?
Letting a civilian into a crime scene? No way. He could tamper with the scene. Even take vital evidence.
He did, right under your nose. He took some papers.
And I'll file a complaint. Don't worry about that.
You could have denied him entry.
I just told you. Orders from above. I'll file a complaint. Hey, how about we stop going in circles here? I'm aware this situation is anomalous, okay?
What are you guarding exactly?
The crime scene.
I thought you all left once the place was sealed.
Soon everyone will know a big fish from the movies blew his brains out, and this place will be crawling with journos. I don't know if you know them, but these guys will jump over fences for the chance to take a picture. I don't like the idea of standing here like one of those living statues on Sunset Boulevard. My thing is patrolling, but orders from above.
Yeah, well, I'm leaving.
Have a good day, sir. In your opinion, there's no reason to have the lights on right now except to give Officer Jackson some extra sense of authority. Rummaging through a patrol car in front of an officer of the law could be one of the worst ideas you've come up with today. Many a client of the Tour of the Stars thinks that these people are so rich that the tips of their fences are made of real gold. It's just golden paint, in case you're wondering. Trying to climb the fence in front of a police officer, huh? Any other crime you'd like to commit, Alan? So I don't know if we're supposed to try and get rid of him in some way so we can go in. What if we offered him 3D glasses? Officer Jackson is not interested in that. Fair enough. Let's look at the mansion. Peter Evans's majestic mansion rises up from the grounds and makes you realize that it's not fame you seek, not even the long-awaited Oscar. Your motivation to keep fighting is to become one of them. But alive, of course. Evans showed off his latest acquisition to you the last time you were here. The price tag, transportation costs all the way from Egypt, and installation costs knocked your socks off. Okay. I guess if we exit, we'll probably end up back in the cab, right? Yeah.
Mind if I smoke? It's a Havana cigar, the only good thing those communists have. Anyway, where to?
I guess we should probably follow the lead. I mean, there's this Joe's Diner place, but I think we should, follow our lead to Flying Saucers. Something tells me it's no longer there. The guy on the right is talking non-stop, while the other one listens intently. Guess we should look at the rubble. That's odd. According to the letterhead, the Flying Saucer Pictures offices should be here. Rummaging through the rubble won't help you rebuild the Flying Saucer picture. Flying Sauce? Is it Flying Sauce or Flying Saucer Pictures offices? If they were ever here. Well, we talk to this guy, maybe he knows. Hey, friend. I don't know anything they told you, buddy, but I don't sell anything.
Nobody's told me anything. I don't even know who you are and what you do for a living. Though I can guess the latter.
Oh, can you? What do you want, buddy?
I'm looking for the Flying Saucer Pictures offices.
Flying what?
This is 451 Roadside Avenue, right?
Dunno. I guess, man.
I think there should be an office here instead of this rubble.
Oh, yeah. Fuck. The movies guy. What a fucking bastard. They say he was the one who caused the building to collapse just so he could collect the insurance money. Gas leak or something. The asshole could have blown up half the street. You gotta be a real son of a bitch to do something like that, huh?
Do you know where I can find this guy? His name is Glenn Bishop.
No idea, man. I hope you find him, but behind bars, that's where he belongs.
Do you know anyone who could point me to Glenn Bishop's whereabouts?
The owner of the pawn shop. But he's not here right now. I think he's testifying at the police station, probably with some jewels or something. He left his cousin in charge of the shop. But he's kind of dumb, so don't waste your time with him.
What about the laundromat? Maybe they know something.
You never seen one of those? They're completely unmanned. You go in, insert a coin, and wash your clothes. Clearly, you have someone to do it for you.
Yeah, I think that's all.
Okay, man. So, no point going to the pawn shop. It didn't give us the police station as a destination, I noticed. I guess I'll just exit for now. Your face seems familiar. Have I given you a ride before? Now it's just sight. Well, I guess we should try Joe's Diner, right?
Well, who do we have here? Crawl back out of your cave, I see.
See, you're still in yours.
Hey, Joe, doesn't this place have an admittance policy?
You want me to kick him out, Vicky?
That's the voice I gave him. Mac. It's just customer. Let's have a look at the photos. Joe proudly shows off his photos with celebrities who either walked in by mistake or needed a toilet urgently. Joe doesn't consider you famous enough to take a picture with you. What's on TV? That damn channel broadcasts video clips non-stop 24 hours a day. It's so popular that studios are starting to hire music video directors to, in your opinion, deal cinema its final death blow. Was that going to be MTV maybe? You don't know any of the bands on there, but they're very popular with the kids. You have no idea who the Bangles are. Duran Duran sounds like a character from Barbarella, and you think the Cars is the worst possible name for a rock band. I don't see any of those standing the test of time. Pies. Joe assures his clients that these pies taste just like the ones their grandmas used to make, as long as they owned a factory of processed baked goods, that is. You aren't hungry. Okay, who's Mac? Mac Paulin is a freelance journalist who specializes in TV critique. He feels so at home in this place that he practically uses it as his office. Joe doesn't object. Mac spends an average of $10 a day here.
What's up, Mac?
Wow, you're alive. I was already thinking that the police had knocked down your front door and found the cat eating your corpse.
I don't have a cat. I hate them. Though it'd be a good end for me.
Feeling optimistic today, are we? I'm glad to see you, friend. What can I help you with?
What are you writing?
A review of the new Twilight Zone. I already know what you're going to reply, but I know a couple of guys at CBS who owe me some favors. Aren't you interested in writing an episode for the series?
You want me to work in TV? I don't want to end my days being a TV writer.
Oh, come on, Alan. TV is changing. Even William Friedkin directed an episode. Maybe in the future you'll have more freedom writing for TV than for the movies. I know practically everyone at the job. You could shine there.
Well, I appreciate it, but
I won't insist, but if you ever change your mind, here I am. Mac knows people, wordmonger. Maybe if you worked in TV, you wouldn't complain so much.
No, shut up. I can see somebody's happy to see me.
And why wouldn't I? Okay, you mean Joe. He thinks highly of you, but you know him. Ah, you're referring to Vicky. I'm not meddling in other couples' affairs.
We're not a couple.
You would be if you weren't so, whatever. It's none of my business.
Carry on with your thing.
Okay, I guess we could try talking to Vicky. Like most aspiring actresses, Vicky came to Hollywood full of hopes and dreams, just to end up waiting tables in one of the city's many restaurants. You spend good moments with her, and you could say she's the girl of your dreams, were it not for your particular way of dreaming. Okay, they got a thing going.
What was that all about?
I don't know what you're talking about.
That dumb thing about the admission policy.
Don't you have anything to say to me?
Good afternoon.
Good... Oh, God! Don't you owe me an apology? A week ago, you were on a second date with Vicky, despite the disaster that was the previous one, and it was worse. You got drunk and started blabbering away. You only remember ending up lying on the back seat of a taxi soaked in the wine Vicky probably threw at you before running away, and a strong pain in your cheek. So? In these moments, you wish you were at your typewriter, with all the time in the world to think of all the possible answers your characters might give. You try to choose the right words to tell Vicky, but this page will probably end up in the trash can. Anyway, let's drop the subject, okay?
What did I say?
Don't you remember? I hadn't felt so insulted in my whole life, Alan.
But what on earth did I say?
I won't repeat it. Hearing it once was enough.
Keep it down, lovebirds.
Aren't you going to tell me?
It's not what you said, Alan. The problem is you did it again. You always manage to ruin a special night. I don't get your frustration, Alan. You're not that man just starting out in Hollywood anymore. That was years ago. You've got a job, you make a living, and you've tasted success. What else do you want? Do you want to know what frustration looks like? I've spent 5 years in Hollywood and I haven't gotten a single part yet. I'm 35 and share an apartment with two 20-somethings. They've barely been here for 2 months and one's already been on Cheers, and the others are regular in the Colbys. And that doesn't prevent me from showing the ones I love some respect, you know?
All right, I'm sorry. I apologize if I offended you.
What? What's that if? Of course you offended me. You're better at hurting people than at writing scripts, you know? And the worst thing about it is... Oh, God, I'm such an idiot that I'd hang out with you again tonight. But it's over, Alan. I don't need this kind of relationship in my life right now.
I don't blame you for it. I can barely stand myself.
Try to see life as it is, Alan. You have to pull your weight if you want things to work between us. For a moment you think about apologizing again, this time in a less apathetic and more sincere way, but you know it won't change Vicky's mind, so you decide to spare her the words.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Can I know what I said during dinner?
You should know.
I should, but the thing is I don't.
Then try to remember.
Vicky,
what do you want, Alan?
have you been to any castings this week?
3. And it's always the same, either too young or too old.
Why don't you get her into one of your movies?
I tried. Twice. Associate producers get their lady friends in. I can't do anything about that.
You're not pushing hard enough.
That's not how it works, Joe. I'm just a screenwriter, and but why am I explaining myself to you? Why are you barging in on our conversation?
Because Vicky's worth a lot. She's a good actress.
I know she's good. Very good.
Yeah? If she was as good as you say, we'd already have seen her in that lunatic movie.
Let it be, Joe. Alan is right.
Why are you defending him? Are you so infatuated with him that you swallow everything he says? Excuses. If he'd wanted to, you would have been in one of his movies already.
Please, Joe.
It's your life, none of it's my business.
Well, you haven't stopped meddling.
You haven't stopped meddling.
I only want the best for my employees, okay? Is that clear?
Yeah, that's all.
As you wish. Arcade machine? The arcade machine only works with coins. I'm guessing I don't have any. Joe replaces the arcade machine often. New games keep the kids coming back to blow their weekly allowance on it. Can we go in the back?
Hey, wordmonger. There's nothing for you back there.
Joe just created a new burger. It'll probably taste the same as all the others. You don't feel like trying it out, or any of the others for that matter. Customer? You don't need anything from Billy. Let him enjoy his burger. Oh, so we do know who it is. So I'm thinking we might go back to the... I'm not going to read all these taxi things every time. Maybe we go back to Ruskin. Maybe the guy is back in his office now. Oh, hello. Neil Gordon. Who's that? Neil Gordon is a horror movie enthusiast who manages, writes, and publishes a small fanzine called Terror Zone. He thinks you're one of the best current horror screenwriters, and he's dying to interview you. But reading your words in a magazine made of loosely stapled photocopies doesn't match your concept of an interview. We can try talking to him.
I told you I wasn't going to grant you an interview, so you can leave the bench free for whoever else needs it.
Sorry, I missed the introductory text. I was trying to think of a voice for Neil Gordon, but it auto-proceeded. But we can have a discussion with him still.
I checked out your fanzine.
Oh yeah?
I skimmed it before trashing it.
Most kind of you.
Judging by what I read, you do write quite well. Quite well. You've got talent, kid. Why do you waste about writing about those kinds of movies? Do you want some advice? Take your writings and bring them to Variety or the Hollywood Reporter. You'll land a job. But please, get a haircut and wear something else. Don't go in there looking like that.
You tell me how to dress, what to write about? Anything else?
Yes. Take off those earrings. Are you gonna wait here all day?
It's my day off. When I see Mr. Ruskin come out, I'll try to get my interview. I hope he's nicer than you.
What's your interest in Ruskin?
I'm working on a special issue about new horror movie producers. Christopher Ruskin is one of them.
Don't kid yourself. Ruskin's no more than a producer of exploitations. He doesn't give a damn about horror cinema.
You think so?
I work for him.
If he didn't give a damn about horror movies, he wouldn't have you as his screenwriter.
You ready yourself to answer with a conclusive I'm not a horror movie screenwriter, but that's what you are.
Or give his new movies larger and larger budgets. Or hire the best up-and-coming VFX technicians out there. He knows what he's doing.
Good luck then. I hope Ruskin won't send you packing, which is what I'd do.
I don't think so. Brian Yuzna didn't, neither did Robert Shea, Glenn Bishop, or Charles Band. Producers tend to be nicer than certain screenwriters.
Hey, did you say Glenn Bishop?
Glenn Bishop, yeah.
Do you know where I could find him?
Are you serious? He makes video movies. Very low budget ones. If you want to waste your time, so be it, but I would keep working for Ruskin Productions.
It's not that, I just want to talk to him about certain matters. I'll ask again, do you know where I can find him? Don't tell me Roadside Avenue.
No, he's not there anymore. He had some problems with a gas leak. Or at least that's what he tried to convince me of. Rumor has it he already had a new office when the accident happened.
So now he's at...
Let's make a deal. Get me an interview with Ruskin and I'll tell you where to find Bishop.
Tell me and I'll talk to Ruskin.
Do you think I was born yesterday?
Given your age, almost. How old exactly are you, kid?
20. Do me that favor, Mr. Goldberg.
Ruskin is not going to grant an interview to a fanzine.
This is my offer.
Hope the wait isn't too bad.
Yeah, well. Goodbye, Mr. Goldberg.
Okay. So I'm guessing Ruskin isn't here. We won't talk to these guys again. We'll go straight to the office. There he is.
Alan! I've heard the news. What a shame, huh?
Indeed.
Does that mean your project?
Fucked up? Yeah.
I don't want to sound callous at a time like this, but this is good news for Ruskin Productions. Our Alan isn't going anywhere anytime soon.
I don't have much of a choice.
Oh, come on. Don't be like that. Do you know what I was staring at through the window when you got here?
The city at your feet, right? Makes you feel powerful.
You're impossible. Come here. Look towards Sunset Strip. The billboard ad on the corner by Tower Records. What do you see?
Brown and blue blot.
Oh, come on, Alan.
What do you want me to see? The sun's reflecting off the window and I can't see a damn thing.
It's the Lunatic poster on Sunset Boulevard. Do you know what that means? We can afford it. We're making big money thanks to you. Do you know where I've been today?
Surprise me.
In a meeting with Toyner. They're releasing an action figure line of horror monsters. And do you know who's gonna be the star? The Lunatic. They're all along the same lines, Alan. Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger. And thanks to the movie's success, they want your creation to be the star figure. Isn't that wonderful?
A lunatic toy. Wonderful.
I know it's not the figurine you'd like to have in your hands, but we're on the way, Alan. We'll soon be able to afford higher budget movies as well as other genres. The day will come when you can write anything you want, and I will gladly produce it. But the success of horror movies is what will allow us to take bigger risks. It's pretty straightforward, right?
I'm sick of writing the same thing over and over, Christopher. That's all.
I know, but you're so good at it. We won an award thanks to you, and I'm not letting you go. And now, if you'll allow me, I'm gonna keep admiring our future.
Okay, we'll just talk to him, I guess.
Do you have a moment?
Sure. First of all, how's the script going? Remember to do whatever you want with it. You know there won't be any sort of interference on my part. I trust you completely.
Well, I've got some issues with the third act. Nothing I can't fix.
Good old writer's block, huh? Think of something shocking. You've got time. There's still a month to go before we start shooting. What did you want to tell me?
Does Dave Crosby have to be here? Always?
Ah, well, let's drop it, okay? I don't mind a star hanging around this office.
It bothers me that they try to recruit everyone and their mother into their cult.
You know what? Sometimes I wonder if it would be a good idea to join them.
Are you serious? Isn't all that pseudoscience you believe in enough for you?
They have power in Hollywood, Alan. Lots of power. They could help Ruskin Productions take off for good.
Look, I don't want to hear it.
It's just an idea. I don't think I'll do it.
Yeah, listen, there's a kid who wants to interview you.
Oh yeah? Variety? The Hollywood Reporter?
Some fanzine.
Ah, some fanzine. Not interested.
The kid adores you. I don't know why, but he does.
Oh yeah?
He says you're more than just a producer of exploitations, that you know what you're doing.
Well, of course I am. I try to hire the best.
Those were his words.
Yeah?
And he knows how to write. He's as good as any film journalist you may know, maybe even better. Damn, does he know how to negotiate.
You know what, Alan? Lately I've been thinking about hiring a press officer. That would free up Pam a bit. She already has a lot on her plate. You say the kid's good?
Check for yourself. Accept the interview.
Every time I've trusted your gut, it's been good for me, so yeah, you can tell him to come by.
All right.
But not today, it's been a busy day. Tomorrow, 10 a.m., is that okay?
Whatever suits you best.
Settled then. Tomorrow, 10 a.m.
All right, I guess we'll go back to him.
So Ruskin's agreed to the interview.
Really?
I put in a good word for you. He's even thinking about hiring you as his press officer.
I'm not interested. I already have a job.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a mechanic. Well, an assistant mechanic.
How much do you make a month? It doesn't matter, don't answer. Ruskin would double it, even triple it.
If I accept the job, it would conflict with my reviews of any movie by the production company.
And you're not a sellout, right?
Damn right.
Is that fanzine that important to you?
It's my whole life.
Are you listening to yourself? You have the chance to earn a ton of money, work for an up-and-coming production company, and attend horror movie shoots. Are you gonna miss out on that? Anybody interested in the horror genre would kill for a job like that. You can balance the job and the fanzine.
Okay, I'll think about it. When do I get to interview him?
Tomorrow, 10 a.m.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Goldberg.
And now, where can I find Glenn Bishop?
Mansfield Avenue, number 13.
Got it.
Great. I'd thank you if I hadn't had to barter.
This is Hollywood.
I guess that can be used to justify anything.
Anyway, I've nothing else to do here. I'm off, Mr. Goldberg. Thanks for your help.
And I hope I don't have to do that voice anymore.
Try to dress decently tomorrow, not like a criminal. It's an interview.
I know.
A job interview. Take out those earrings.
Okay, well, I guess we've got a new location we can go to now. Yeah, let's go to Glenn Bishop.
I don't give a damn if you did everything you could, Tony. Your job is to do the impossible. No. No. Where the hell am I gonna find? Who the hell are you, and how did you get in here?
My name is Alan Goldberg. The door was open.
Tony, give me a minute. No, don't hang up. Are you here to help?
What?
Do you want to help? Because if you haven't come to help, you can get the hell out of here.
I wanted to talk to you about Peter Evans.
Oh, yes, that poor bastard. I just heard about it. How do they fall, huh? He was just here last week.
Well, that's what I wanted to talk to you about.
Now is not a good time. My director couldn't think of anything else to do but to celebrate the start of the shoot of Bloody Cabin 2 with the lead actress last night. And you know how? By overdosing on speedball. Do you know what a speedball is? Good old John Belushi sure did. And you know how he ended up? Dead. Which is how these two poor bastards will end up if they don't make it out of the intensive care unit. Serves me right for hiring goddamn junkies. So, Mr. Goldberg, Alan Goldberg. I have a film crew standing around with their arms crossed, and I myself am on the verge of a nervous breakdown, so unfortunately I'm unable to assist you at this time.
I might be able to help.
Oh yeah? How?
I'm a screenwriter. I work for Ruskin Productions. I have contacts.
Ah, you're in the business. Just a sec. Tony, you still there? Good, because I'm considering making changes to Flying Saucer Productions.
Pictures.
Would you like to work for me, Mr. Goldman?
Goldberg, no, I'm sorry. I work for Ruskin Productions, I've already told you.
Here, just a sec. Tony! Fire you? Always talking about firing you. So you want to help? Good. I need a director with experience. One who won't waste my time. If you find one, send him directly to 1864 Kenmore Avenue. Have him skim through the scripts and start shooting. I'll talk to him later about the money. I need an actress as well. But I'll need to see her first. Does she have a photo book? I don't care if she can act or not. If she does, so much the better, but that's not important. You understand what I'm looking for, right? Oh, and one more thing. I need both of them. No actress, no movie. No director, no movie either. And if they are not unionized, so much the better. You said you have contacts, huh? I trust you. And now, if you'll excuse me, Tony! There's a guy here who's gonna solve the issue. I should pay him instead of you just for trying. What? Put that idiot on the phone.
Okay, I need to clear my throat after that exchange. It inflamed it somewhat, but you know what? I think that's probably a good place to leave it for now. So I'll just say thanks very much for watching this first episode of Nightmare Frames. Hope you've enjoyed it. I'm enjoying it. I mean, it's an English Haunting very much was everything the developers obviously loved about, gothic horror and that kind of thing. This is very much a love letter to that kind of sort of late 70s, early to mid 80s kind of schlock horror, B-movie horror type stuff. That is quite fun, I think, and hopefully you've enjoyed this. And if you could hit that thumbs up button, that would be much appreciated, as it always is, as would be leaving a comment. Let me know what you think about the game so far. The story, there haven't really been any puzzles to speak of yet. We've kind of just sort of followed the thread narratively speaking, but let me know what you think anyway. And yeah, if you're watching this and haven't yet subscribed to the channel, it would be amazing if you could do that as well. So thanks very much, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.